Hey, welcome back to this episode of Think Business. Looking forward to talking with Priya Samant, CEO and co-founder, Thomas Arul, chairman and co-founder of Abris. Did I pronounce it right? Abris? Right. Abris Inc. and your product, Uprate.AI. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Michael Tedesco for introducing us. Great guy, good friend, and I'm really excited to talk to both of you about AI. All right, so let's talk. Where do we even begin? I feel like, by the time someone listens to this, there may be even new technology out. I feel that way every time I talk about AI. I think the average person right now is using, for sure, ChatGPT. I think the average person doesn't know that they've been part of AI through, many apps and websites that are using it that they just don't know. So it's really not that new. Companies have been using AI for decades. We just weren't aware of it. And so let's just kind of go back in time a little bit and talk about kind of, how AI has been used, because I want to give people kind of a full flavor of it, how it was used that they maybe didn't know, and then let's kind of move up to your products.
Yeah, absolutely. John, thanks for having us on the podcast. So we've been using AI for quite some time. When you talk to Siri or you talk to Alexa, we all talk to AI. But,
Right.
what happened is that people don't realize the AI, that they think it's an app and they start talking to it, adding to a cart in Amazon, Alexa, or answering any question, getting a directions from Google. AI has been behind the scenes for a long time.
Right.
Before that, it was in engineering labs, and a lot of the big companies were using it. But what happened in the last 8 to 10 months, with OpenAI coming with ChatGPT, people can start feeling the use of AI. They started using AI and getting their questions answered. They want to talk about a product, or they want to write an email, or they want to write a story. So people got access to OpenAI, and OpenAI is the first company that to have over 100 million users within 2 to 3 months. And
Yeah.
people, this kind of went out of the ballpark the past 8 months, and people worldwide have started using it. And that's where AI is in the hands of a lot of people, and people started using it, and they're fascinated with what it can do, and also wondering what it can do in the future, because
Yeah.
we are just the start of this whole AI revolution.
Yeah.
So what internet did to us, right? It just changed everything for everyone. It's the same as what generative AI is going to do in, leading the future ahead.
Yeah. But let's talk about it. You both just mentioned the future, right? And the future is tomorrow. But I think sometimes when people think of the future, they think, 10, 20 years from now. But really, this is moving at such a fast rate, right? How will it really affect our future, right? I mean, because right now I use AI, I use ChatGPT kind of like a business partner, an executive assistant, somebody to help me brainstorm with. And so how should people mentally begin thinking about it for the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So when computers came in, there was a lot of resistance, especially where I came from. People were wondering it's going to replace their jobs, but it did replace their jobs, but it created a lot of new jobs. With AI, what people are going to realize that it is, it's so smart that it can take a lot of the white collar jobs. Previously, we were thinking it's going to take the blue collar jobs, but it's coming to the white collar jobs.
Right.
But definitely, it's going to create new opportunities and new jobs also. So AI could be your personal assistant, your co-assistant, your in the office, at home, everywhere, and it's going to be a bit ubiquitous.
Yeah, so I think it's going to complement the job industry. That placement is what I feel. And efficiency, productivity, creativity, everything is going to play an immense role in this. So, it's going to bring everyone together, and, it's revolutionizing already, and it's going to be a very positive future. I don't think, I mean, of course, there are threats when we can go into details of it, from the data privacy and all those things. But in general, it's going to be a future looking forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
You talk to certain generations who weren't raised on technology, and they don't know how to use, to the extent they want to, Excel or Word or email for certain generations. I think, and so how do people even begin to start using AI? Right, we're talking a lot about ChatGPT. It's I find it somewhat, it's kind of funny when I run into someone who still hasn't heard of it or who hasn't utilized it. And so how do you recommend people, as we're talking about AI, who are listening to this, just maybe who are scared of AI or don't know where to start, where is the first step, or what is the daily, allocated amount of time that they should put towards learning it, YouTubing it, surfing it, and reading, et cetera, et cetera?
So I think one of the things is that as a company who's building products, you have to make it seamless that the user doesn't know there's AI. So it has to talk in the natural language. And whatever app, whether you're accessing a website or you're accessing a store, there's going to be AI behind the scenes. So people don't even realize that's AI. Like how Siri did or Alexa did, it's going to come everywhere. You can see from your car to your door to your, email, or any app you open is going to have AI. That is one part. It's going to happen from your self-driving cars to anything that is going to be technology is going to have AI. But from a user perspective, definitely, there's multiple types of users. One of the people who want to understand what is AI, definitely there are great resources in YouTube. And most importantly, they should try to play with it, because once especially if you can email or if you access to computer, definitely, OpenAI, ChatGPT is free, get the free version, talk to it. And we've seen the evolve, there's improvements made even within the OpenAI the past 6 months. Like right now, we have ChatGPT Vision, where you can not only answer your questions, you can take images and start processing and answering your questions. So, I just, I use it for helping with my daughter's homework. She doesn't want to do ChatGPT, but sometimes she asks me the math problem, which I really don't know how to solve. I take a picture of that, trigonometry problem and ask ChatGPT Vision, and it gives me the answer. Then I try to explain to my daughter, this couldn't have been possible because I spend so much time searching the internet, learning to teach what to teach, because I forgot I don't learn a lot of these new concepts, but now at least I have a tool which can just take an image of a homework and ask a question. So now I'm prepared to teach her. So like that, every day is going to help everyone's life for better.
Amen to that. I just want to say, ChatGPT came out, November 22. And I actually was pretty good at math. I was a math major at one point before I changed my major 5 different times, but I loved math. And I couldn't help my kids with middle school math. I didn't even get it, but I didn't have ChatGPT, so it was, yeah. Priya, did you want to say anything?
No, I mean, what he says is, I completely resonate with it, that this is how it's going to move forward. And, right from the ChatGPT Vision to just not, I mean, doing normal things like so many applications of it right now that we can do.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right. So before we get into your company, and I want to talk about it, but I just want to kind of set the stage for someone who's listening about AI. And so I think there's also, I've seen many TV shows and I've read a lot about AI, and there's a lot of fear about AI, right? I don't mean to like toss in the word a lot, but there is fear of AI. And so how do people get over the fear of it?
See, I mean, of course, there is a huge learning curve and understanding and, education about everything. But like any new technology or any new product for that matter, right, that we have to adapt to, there's always a fear for it. But that's where, as Thomas mentioned, and we touched upon it a little bit, is, learning through those YouTube videos. See, AI in some or the other form has already come into our lives through Google and Alexa and, other forms. Now it is just going one step further and trying to integrate it into more those 8 hours that we are trying to work apart, that we are working, but it's going to play a very crucial role. So I personally feel, and Thomas can add to it, is learning and educating is very important. And just to say, before we came here, we had some older gentlemen in our office, and we were just talking about it, the threats that one is thinking that AI might bring, but the opportunities that are there. And what one needs to do that is to educate themselves, learn, talk to companies or startups for that matter who are working in this space and are heavily invested in.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So I wanted to just kind of start setting the stage on AI for everybody who is, thinking about it. Now, let's talk about Uprate.AI.
Sure.
So, yeah, talk about the company, and then we'll dive into some questions.
Absolutely. So, how Uprate.AI came into existence is Thomas and I are co-founders, and then our executive team comprises of our CTO, COO, and CFO. We all came from a retail tech background. Okay, and I always would love to tell the viewers the story about the specifics of it. Is I was a social entrepreneur in my last decade, and what I used to sell my handmade products through some regions in the Whole Foods market, and also through online presence. What I found is when I used to tell my story to the people, right, it used to resonate with them. The elevation to the shopping cart was much higher. I always used to feel that, if I had some persona that could be my 24-hour sales assistants online, that could help tell that same story and give a tailored, opportunity for the buyers, then it would be a win-win situation to me as a person as well as to the customer. Same is with Thomas, he being a serial entrepreneur, and he can speak further into it. With those experiences that we had, and with ChatGPT coming into existence, we thought it's a perfect blend, and hopefully a successful marriage, where with the AI tools that are out there, we can refine those models and give augmenting the revenue by elevating of the shopping carts for the merchant, as well as for the customers a tailored personalized recommendation. Then that balance is setting us apart at the product that we have brought to the market. Thomas,
Yeah,
can ask.
I love that. I have a question, Thomas, right, for Priya, just before you chime in. I love your story. First of all, thank you for sharing your story, because I think people learn through story, and that's sometimes I think where the sales cycle kind of falls short. If you don't, most people don't even incorporate their story to begin with. So it's like, what's your backstory? What's your this? In my business, on my johndwoskin.com page, I have a really long story on my about me, and it says at the very top after the first paragraph, "Hey, I know this is long, but if you want to get to know me, read below. If not, click here," and it takes you to the very bottom of the page. But people want to know the story. They want to know the backstory. I think community, we talk a lot about this on the show. People connect with story. We're tuned in to connect with story. That's why we love TV. That's why we love movies. That's why we love, because they all do the same thing. The outline is very similar in everything, which is the hero's journey, and it's all wrapped around a story. And so if you can keep the story going, and we know that people's attention span is less than a goldfish, but what keeps their attention is a story. Yeah, I love it.
And actually, because what is it is right now, and we will go into the details of the product, we are launched into the Shopify ecosystem, which is about 2 million customers, 1.3 to 2 million customers. They range in different, right from somebody who is a hustler and has a side business to somebody who's an enterprise client. Each one has their unique story to tell. And our goal through our product is to elevate that brand story, which will elevate their shopping cart, enhance it, while giving also customers what they are looking for.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Thomas, any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the experiences with AI, there was, what we was thinking is, how do we create the brand's ambassador online? Right now when you walk to a store, there's a jewelry store. The jeweler might come and ask questions and know you, address you by the name, and you might ask for one jewelry, then go to the next one, then you want to go back to the old jewelry. So that you do online and shopping, you can't do that. You have to go back to search and find, or if you make a spelling mistake, you're not going to find the product, or you want to know more about the product, so you have to go to FAQs and stuff. So how do we get the same experience what is you get in store we want to provide online? And this wouldn't have been possible even last year, I would say, is with the ChatGPT and the APIs opening up, we could create that branded experience for each store. And each store might be different. Some store might be selling shoes, some store might be selling jewelry, some store might be selling liquor. The best thing is that we can, using a product, customize the role that they're using, and the role also knows about it. Like, if it's a jeweler, they know about jewelry, and also understand the products and the company information less than 5 minutes and ready to go.
Yeah. It's so important. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about brand ambassadors for businesses. I think it's really, really important. I was sharing with you both. I have my coaching company, but I just launched another coaching piece of my business, and I have a business partner for this, and it's a coaching company. It's called Launch 3, only for 18 to 26-year-olds, because we believe that generation doesn't have or needs additional knowledge coming into the real world. But what we found is that our ambassadors are 20 to 23-year-olds that are out there selling it for us, and moms.
Yeah.
Right. It's not, we thought it was the parents and the dads and the moms, but the ambassadors, the true ambassadors, are really the moms and the kids selling it to the kids. And it took us a little bit to kind of really figure out who the true ambassadors were, because then it began to ignite, right? Ignite sales. And so talk a little bit about how, you figured out who your brand ambassadors were, because I think sometimes companies think they know, but they may be off just like a sliver. When that sliver can cost them a lot of money. Sorry, Priya.
No. So I was just we touched upon future, we touched upon kids and the ambassador part. So I'll tell you, this summer actually we hired we had interns. We had about 12 interns this summer who ranged from high school students, a sophomore going, they were going to be sophomores, to final year college students. So that was the range.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to get, while developing and refining our AI models, we wanted to get a varied perspective.
Yeah.
Of how would an ambassador or a customer come and deal with our sales chatbot.
Right.
So because what we wanted is, so they helped us prompt engineer this. Yeah. Because so the fresh ideas came into the product.
Absolutely.
So that was important. So while they came as interns, they started becoming ambassadors.
Yeah.
Because they are the kind of the users who will be on their mobile phones some more.
Yeah.
And they love online shopping,
Yeah.
but these kids don't go to the stores. But coming to the ambassador parts in the totality, what we said is, we are a business that is based in the suburban part of Metro North Massachusetts, Boston area. There are a lot of great innovation that is happening in the Boston, Cambridge area, but there's a lot of innovation happening even in the suburban area. And we wanted the suburban businesses also to thrive along with us. So right now, most of our ambassadors are coming from the stores and the companies and the stores that are in the Shopify ecosystem that are on the main street.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that we want, to be our early adopters and understand, because at the end of the day, the heart of the American economy as the medium and the small businesses that generally sit on the main street.
Yeah.
And they all have online presence. And that is what we want to do, is make them our ambassadors. And, we launched this product October 2nd, and we already have customers that are, kind of liking what they are seeing and are, ready to embrace us and that partnership.
Yeah, it's really, really important that fresh perspective. I'm 51, and when I interned, nobody was asking me my opinion. You know, when I interned, when I was in high school and college, I don't remember anybody saying, "Hey, what do you think we should do about?" And if you had an opinion, nobody listened, and if you said it, it was almost like a negative, right? And so, but in today's world, you know, the 20 somethings or younger are teaching the 40, 50s, and 60 somethings, and it's really a collaboration because these sliver of ideas, these fresh eyes, as you put it, Priya, I agree, because we did it in our launch business. You know, we thought, you know, I'm 51, my business partner is 55. We knew we had to connect with the younger generation to understand, because we thought we had a good idea, and then they would say, nope, it's got to be like this. And it was huge, and it's priceless. I bring it up because, for many reasons, because I love talking about it, but also think community. If you're not including 20 somethings and 18 somethings and 30 somethings in your board of directors or your advisors or your ambassadors, you're really missing out. You're really, really missing out. And it's got to be like, you got to embrace them and welcome them, because if you shame them for 1 millisecond, they're done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're done. They're not playing that game. They're not playing that game like we all had to play that game.
So our balance is extremely.
One more thing, and I'm glad they don't have to play that game.
Yeah, what I'm saying is our balance is very dual. We look from the merchant side as well as the customer side, and even on this part, we looked from the merchant side as well as these young people being the customers. How would they interact, or how they want the prompts to interact with them?
Yeah.
And one other thing, John, is that I've been 3 decades of software development. This AI it's very fascinating, and I think as a lot of young listeners are there, there's most of the work is in prompt engineering. It's a new discipline, because right now we program, because AI can write programs, AI can write do beautiful math, write poems, write stories, but how to make it behave is a challenge.
Yeah.
Because I would say the AI acts like a kid, and you have to train that kid to answer, especially when you're using for enterprise customers. You want to make sure that it doesn't hallucinate, it doesn't lie, it doesn't make up stories. So it's like, how do you train a kid? And that is done by something called prompt engineering. And if you build a product, we are surprised that 60 to 70% of the time is spent on prompt engineering.
Yeah.
So there are jobs right now offering $200,000 for prompt engineering. So that's a huge discipline that's going to go, and every company will require AI. But most importantly, how do you make the AI talk sense, talk about our business, talk the right things, talk our language, talk the way we act? So that is prompt engineering, and
show empathy.
And show empathy. That is a very
that's a big thing. I remember as you're talking about that, I remember an article that I read, and I think it was like 2019, and it referenced that by the year 2030, that 85% of the jobs that exist in the year 2030, it was either an article from 2018 or 19, that they don't exist yet. And I remember like reading it and talking about it with people and thinking, well, what could they possibly be? And the only thing that we knew that for certain was it's going to be based on all the technology over the years that's created that will spur all of those jobs. And so this is one. What's coming in 2 years from now, 1 year from now? What are some of the things that we may be seeing, or where are some of the gaps that something can be created?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what is going to happen is, right now you see AI in through Siri and Alexa. Now the AI has come to the website, and you'll see lifelike avatars. The AI, can't even differentiate whether it's human or it's a lifelike avatars in every stores, every places, airports, wherever you go. You'll start interacting with that, and they know you, and they start, "Hey, John, how are you? What can I do for you?" And you won't feel the difference between talking to a person live or AI based robot avatar. So it's coming. The technology is coming as fast as we speak.
And that's what our actually omni agents are going to look like. So we are working on it right now. The work is happening, where they will be talking to you and addressing your needs. We have right now 10 omni agents, and they are available to see and learn
Yeah.
about them on our website.
If you go to our website, you can see those omni agents. Like they could be. So you're going and shopping in a jewelry store. A
Yeah.
jeweler, lifelike looking jeweler, comes and talks with emotions, ask you question. Hey John, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
And you can talk to it, and it can answer it. So it's going to pop up to a computer, your phone, everywhere. And yeah, this is going to be omni. They're going to be everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Let's talk, from Omni to metaverse and virtual reality. What do the two of you see there?
Yeah, I think so. We did a lot of experiments earlier with having conducting metaverse events and stuff. But to be very frank, the quality of the avatars and it's even what Meta had, there's no legs. It was not a great experience. But I
Mhm.
think the last podcast I saw with Lexman and Mark Zuckerberg doing, where Lexman doesn't do anything without in person, but he did with Mark, and you
Yeah.
felt it as if he's in the room with him. And when you scan the person's facial expression. Right now, we have to go to a studio to do it, but in the future, you can take a phone, scan yourself, and talk to a loved one across anywhere in the world. It will have the same experience you're talking to them.
Yeah, I mean, I totally feel the same. Is that it's these all technologies are here to stay for a long run. It's just that we have to slowly and gradually learn about it and start embracing it.
Mhm.
So it's a slow and a steady progression when it comes to the metaverse avatars, because we actually last year were maybe one of the first to do a political metaverse event for one of the candidates that we were working with on a blockchain related project. But so it's there for the long run. It's just that there is so rapidly technology is changing that there's a huge learning curve, and for a mass adoption that needs to happen.
Great. All right. I feel like we've been talking about the future. Now let's rewind to the past a little bit. And it's I just want to comment real quickly. I'll talk about that later, maybe. Let's go back in the past. So take me as far back as you want, 10 years old, before, after. Who were some mentors or a mentor in your life that planted a seed that helped you where you are today?
Okay, do you want to take this?
Yeah.
So see, for me, my mentors were my parents, because I came as an immigrant here when I was 22 to work. And they sowed the seed of me is just try and just be there, because it was not easy in year 2000 to come by yourself to a very new country where and it was amazing that they allowed me to do that. And then coming here, I did my master's after my first son was born, uh, through a private college here in Boston area, Cambridge College, and that's where I learned about entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
It was very new to me.
Yeah.
I went there to do my master's in management because I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I was already in the mid management by then, and this entrepreneurship was something, a very new world that I got. You know, came to know about. It
Yeah.
was fascinating. The bug bit me, and I have never changed.
Right. Once it bites,
Best thing. I mean,
yeah.
all the professors at the college were, mentors in some or the other form,
Yeah.
and it helped me.
Yeah.
What was it, Priya, about, like, what was the moment of that feeling that you had when you knew, like, oh wow, like I am an entrepreneur and I can be an entrepreneur?
I think that can be a very lengthy podcast in itself. I always say, if I ever write a book, my book is going to be titled A Blessing in Disguise.
Uh-huh.
But very quickly, I became an entrepreneur out of a necessity, because with my second child, he was very sick. And I couldn't go back to the corporate world because we had no help and we were young parents. And I wanted to, and I had my two kids are close in age, and I wanted to take care of my child, because he was unwell till 4 years of his life. He's a very healthy kid now,
Oh,
15
good.
year
I
old.
was gonna ask you. Good.
Yeah. So with that, I deep dived into entrepreneurship through my social enterprise. So that's why I said, if I write a book, it's a podcast in itself. It would be blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Well, what a beautiful blessing in disguise. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad your boy is healthy.
Yes.
Thomas, how about you?
I think so. I from a young age, I was grew up in India, and I always wanted to come to America. So the first time when they asked me to put a signature when I was like sixth, eighth grade, I just started with dollar and put Thomas Arul, and still today I have the same signature. I wanted to come to this country, and this country has been great. I almost came with $100 in '96, and I could build some big companies. So I'm always thankful for a lot of people who came and helped across the way, from my parents, teachers, to this great country where you can come, and the opportunity is endless as long as you work hard and you come to it. This is a great place to start a business, and nothing like this.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
As entrepreneurs, all right. So now we'll get back into the present moment. As entrepreneurs, you learn by just the burn, right? You it's just the only way. You can read a lot of books, and I am an entrepreneur. I read a lot of books, but still, and you just learn by doing in many cases. But like we've talked about kind of on our show today, gratitude for the people in front of us who have paved ways. So what one piece of advice would you give somebody who's starting a business today?
And so I think, and I sometimes go to colleges and give entrepreneurship, because we had a couple of good exits earlier to talk about the experience of startup and the the whole startup journey. And I think people don't realize that if you don't have passion for what you're doing, then don't do it.
Yeah.
So because it's not, if you have passion for what you do, you enjoy it. It doesn't become a work. If you consider your startup as a work, then you're not going to go anywhere. So that means that long hours, day and night, and you have to enjoy the work you do. So make sure that whatever you pick up to do, make sure that's your passion.
Yeah.
And it could be any form. It could be just, we just met an entrepreneur who just came upstairs, and he was selling candles, and he just installed our product, and he was blown away. So he wanted to make candles, and he wanted to make weekend friendly candles, and he's so passionate about it. So whatever you're passionate about, just go for it and work towards it.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned in business?
So for me, it is that patience is extremely required. You have to be very patient about it, and just keep working at what you're doing. Just deep down, just keep doing at it, and one day success will come to you. And other thing is, just do it. Just don't wait for it.
Yeah. Let's talk about, I think in today's world, we're recording this, Q4 of 2023. And I think there's a lot of things that are going on in the world. But if you just zoom in on business, one of the main things that has changed is the no to yes ratio, right? So anybody in business, no matter what role you are, I see it in everybody I coach, C-level exec, owners, managers, salespeople. The no to yes ratio has changed. There's more no's to get to a yes.
Yes.
And so to your point, Priya, about patience, how would you guide people to really get back to center, be patient, be consistent, and just keep going, knowing that the rules of the game are a little bit harder today. They're going to be a little bit harder for a little bit. And what words of encouragement would you give someone to get to the next day, the next hour, and for some, the next 10 minutes?
No, absolutely. It's a very, very great question. See, we are on a startup journey ourselves with Uprate. So, every days are different. Someday we have a lot of no's, many yeses, many failures, many challenges, many wins. Yeah. But we are working towards it to make, to take the best out of the learnings that we get, and work on the product, refine ourselves. We believe. So one thing is, if you have co-founders, then there should be immense transparencies, and with your executive team, if you have to do that should be there. And be empathetic about everything that is around you, that we truly believe in. We also have a yoga studio here at our office, so we kind of take that time to just de-stress ourselves, and when we have those days. But apart from that, just believe in what you're doing and just keep doing it, because just keep doing it till you and you one day you will get there.
Yeah, I love that. Anything to add, Thomas?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things is that a lot of people have an entrepreneur. You have to be a seller also. So you can't just be in a vacuum. So you go out there, talk to people, talk to customers, network, and that is where you'll find more yeses than no.
Yeah. Your network is your net worth. And I'll add one thing, Priya, to what you said, which is I think community. It's really important. Just remember your micro wins. You got to remember your wins every day. I mean, you can have a day of a lot of micro wins, but gloss over them because you maybe didn't get a big win, or you got a lot of micro losses that felt like a big loss, or you thought you were going to land a client and you didn't, or you lost a client but you got two more. So you just got to end the day with some micro wins. So yeah, I love that. All right.
I like this poem. I think it's Helen Rice. There's always a tomorrow. No matter what our yesterday was, our tomorrow will be different.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. All right, let's do a quick speed round. A book that's had the biggest impact for each of you, or a TED Talk.
Oh God!
For me, it's Elon Musk.
For me, he's an iconic Indian entrepreneur, Ratan Tata.
Yeah. Okay. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received.
I could say,
yeah, go ahead.
Trust but verify.
Yeah. For me, believe in what you do.
Yeah. Inspect what you expect is a good one too. Right. Finish this sentence. One thing everybody can do to get more comfortable with AI is
play with it.
Just try it.
All right. Good. This was great. And tell everybody who your ideal clients are, where they can connect with you, and anything else about the company that you want them to know.
Absolutely. So please visit our website, Uprate.AI. We are currently launched in the Shopify. We are one of the apps in the Shopify ecosystem. So if you're a Shopify store owner, we request you to try our app. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. My email is priya@uprate.ai, and Thomas's email is thomas@uprate.ai. We are here to serve you. And Thomas, you want to?
Yeah. So the client could be anyone from a small store owner to a large enterprise. The best thing is that they can go try it for free. There's a free product available. And even before launching they don't want to launch something for customers are going to see, there's a preview mode. They can preview the AI and see how it learns your product and learns your company and start answering. You can check with it. And once you're comfortable, you can enable it for everyone in the worldwide
to see it.
It's great. Well, I am appreciative of both of you, of your time, your products, your wisdom, your idea that you built into a business, and it was great connecting with both of you. We'll definitely have you on again, and I appreciate all your time. Think community. It's really, really important that we learn about AI. I would recommend that you spend at least 1 to 5 minutes every day playing around with ChatGPT, doing something, reading up about it, learning a little bit about it, how it will affect your business now and in the months and years to come. We want to get in front of all of it so we can be ahead of real time and not behind real time. It's really, really important. Priya, Thomas, this was a pleasure. I appreciate you both, and thank you so much. Think community. Please reach out if you and check out Uprate.AI And you can reach me at johndwaskin.com. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
John.
Thank you.